All right, so we are in double digits when it comes to help desk training videos. So we're just going to keep it going because there's always more to learn. All right, guys, let's get into it. Before we begin, please take a moment to say hi, hello, or present. It's sort of like a roll call in the class. That way I know you're present and you're interested in this type of content in the comments below. Thank you so much, and let's get back to the video. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Irvin, also known as Kobu Man. Here we are continuing our help desk training sessions. Let's see how many tickets we have available. Looks like we have 15 tickets to work on. If you haven't watched my previous videos, please do so if you want to get a sense of very basic intro to help desk. What I mean by that is that if you are just suddenly finding this video, this is a number 11 video in this series, and if you've never worked help desk, I suggest you watch first and second video at least in this series. There's a playlist at the end of this video, and I'm going to make it pop up here as well, so make sure you do that. The reason I'm saying that is because to keep things going, I'm not going to talk about simple stuff like navigation of the ticketing system or anything like that at this point. All right, let's get into it. We have a lot of tickets here, and a lot of them here come from MD Alam, medical doctor Alam, I guess. But thank you very much. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name, but thank you very much for submitting all these issues. All right, let's see what this is. First thing first, of course, make sure the ticket is assigned to yourself so you get credit. You don't want somebody else working on this ticket or take it from you while you're working on it. You want to get credit for the work that you do. PC infected with ransomware. All right. What is this? A customer opened a file attachment. Now her PC is infected with ransomware. She's unable to open any of her files. Which action would you take first? Is this from A plus or something? This sounds like one of those one of those IT cert questions. Uh, okay, I mean, this is not. I appreciate you submitting all these tickets, but this literally kind of looks like copy paste from some kind of certification. I don't know. Are you like testing my knowledge here or something? I don't know. But you know what? I'll talk about it anyways. So in this case, I'm going to pretend that PC got infected by ransomware and this is the ticket that I've got. I'm not going to go through this, A, B, C stuff. Okay. So just to show you here how ransomware looks like, when you get a ransomware virus, what happens is you kind of get one of these messages, pop-ups. It installs on your computer, it locks your computer, and you get this message that they've locked your computer out and you got to pay them to unlock it. Unfortunately, when this happens, there's nothing you can do. You can, and technically speaking, you can send the money and they'll unlock it, but will they really unlock it? I mean, these people literally infected your computer. They're holding you hostage essentially, and there's nothing you can do really. I would not give anything to these. Just do not deal with these people whatsoever. And the reason I only said like you can pay them and they'll give you, they'll unlock your computer is that in some cases they actually do that. Supposedly. However, do not do it. Do not contact these people in any possible way. So they lock your computer out and there's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do in my mind, and that's what I would leave it at. I would, completely wipe your computer out, and because what happens is they're going to prevent you from getting all of your files. Everything's going to be locked. It varies from, different ransomware to some other ones. You can protect your computer from ransomware. Matter of fact, Windows has built-in ransomware protection here. See? You just type in, go to Windows Security, go to ransomware or to protection, and it's there. So you can certainly enable this. Here we go. We're going to enable it. This is how you prevent your computer from being taken over by a ransomware. That's one thing you can do. However, what I highly suggest you do is get a login that's not administrator login, meaning that when you are logged in as administrator, which what happens with Windows operating system most of the time. When you install it, the account that you get has full administrative privileges, doesn't ask you for a password like it did just me just now here, because I got to give it permission, and then create a strong password for that network, for that administrator login in case you actually need to run something. So if you're installing something, then you have administrator login, but if a ransomware attacks you, they're not going to be able to access any of that, especially if you're logged in as a regular user. They're not going to be, it's going to be very hard for them, and then you have some chance of actually recovering your data. I have a video that talks about more and how to create a local account that is only for administrator, and that way you can just use that whenever you need to. And when you use your computer regularly, you just use your regular restricted account, regular standard account. You see how I use that there to just even access system properties, let alone do something else. So if you go to user profiles under system properties, you can see all the accounts that are there. And all of this says here is that they are local accounts. However, you can change account type here. See this one that says Big Power, that's the administrator account. I don't log into it, because if I get ransomware or any virus, they already have access to it. You already use your credentials to have full access to everything. And this is the Koboman one, which is what I'm logged in right now, which is very, very restricted. So again, I'm going to put a link to that video so you can watch it on how to set this up for yourself to make sure you're secured. So what can you do when you get a ransomware PC, when you get a PC that's infected with ransomware? Let's say a customer calls you. This is how we're going to do with this. I'm not going to do this, ABC thing, because I have videos on A+ certifications, Network Plus certifications, some other ones as well, and I already went through this, and this video is specifically how to work for help desk. So if this was a customer, I'm going to reply to the customer, and I'm going to say, assuming that you already know that it is infected, I'm going to say, please disconnect your computer from the internet. What I mean by that is from the network, for whether it's local internet, doesn't matter. And when you say internet, it could, for them could mean Wi-Fi as well. Just disconnect it, from the internet. Or, actually, no, I'm sorry. I'm going to say, please turn off your computer, and we will take a look to see if any data can be recovered. Now, this is wishful thinking here. Any data that can be recovered. Chances are, if within a company somebody gets a ransomware infected computer, there's nothing you can do. There's not even a chance that somebody would be stupid enough to even turn on this computer again, let alone connect it to the network. Okay? So turn it off. That's it. That's it. And they can send it back, and then we're going to wipe everything out. Now, this is just if you're working like on site somewhere, and then you actually have physical access, and you do, tech support like help desk for them. If you have physical access to this, the best thing you can do is just completely with the DoD wipe the hard drive on it. The DoD means the Department of Defense type of deletion of hard drive. Meaning what happens is it usually deletes the hard drive or formats the hard drive like 3 times over to make sure there's nothing left on it. We wouldn't even attempt to recover any data unless this is somebody like super important, like a director level or something like that. Then somebody who's really good with computers will attempt to recover some of this data. And again, I have a video on how to recover data from virus infected computer. Matter of fact, I'm going to link that as well. It will pop up right now, like in the right top side, where it usually pops up. So if you want to know how to do that, I also have that. I'm going to say someone at the site, or depends. We're just going to pretend that this person can just bring back the computer, or working at the office. Someone at our site will take your computer and give you a different here's what we're going to. Somebody at our site will give you a different computer while we work on the virus infected one. Or however you want to word this. However you want to word this. Let me see if I typed this correctly. Please turn off your computer and we will take a look to see if any data can be recovered. Someone at our site will give you a different computer while we work on the virus. While we work. You know what? I'm just going to say while we work on it. So whatever you have to do, if you're a help desk tier 1, ask your manager, ask your supervisor, where do we send this? Who's going to handle this? The main thing we need to do is tell the customer, however you want, as soon as possible, please turn off your computer. I'm only typing this here because that's the only option I have. That's the only option I have. And otherwise, I would call them directly and tell them to immediately turn it off because we don't want this virus to spread. All right. And some of these things you can do. And this literally does look like a A+ question or something like that. And that's fine if it is. I have a video on A+, but the main thing you need to worry about as a help desk is that they turn off the computer immediately, and then somebody, not necessarily you, if you're just answering phone as help desk, will handle this from here on out. And again, if you want to watch how to secure your computer, with your administrator password and all of that stuff, again, I've linked the video. Just click on that circle up here. I've linked both of those videos, how to recover data from a virus infected and how to set up your computer so you don't get the virus to begin with. I'm going to resolve it because this is not a real, this is not a real type of help desk ticket that you would typically get, again, because of the format here. Now, if this person just said, my computer is affected by ransomware, then we would keep this ticket open until the issue is resolved, or if we hand over this ticket, meaning send it to somebody else that's on site that will deal with this, we will forward the ticket to them. But since it's not, closed it. It's about all I can do. Okay, moving on. Okay, so here's another one. Just looks like a question. That's okay. I'm going to go through it. Your manager asks you to set up a secure network connection at the remote site to move over some backups. Which protocol would you use? All right. Yeah, so these are... This one is either A+ or a Network Plus type of question. Yeah, you know what? I'm just going to answer it because this is not a real help desk ticket. So I'm just going to say, obviously, it's a secure file transfer protocol, which is under D here. All right. Again, I appreciate you putting in these tickets, but these are not tickets. These are just A+ questions or something like that. Just for your guys as benefit, I'm going to quickly just go over this. FTP under A is file transfer protocol. That's not secured file transfer protocol. They're talking about a secure way to transfer. DHCP is dynamic host configuration protocol. This is how your internet is set up. Your computer here that I'm using here gets an IP address from DHCP server, which is dynamic address. These are dynamically assigned, meaning that they are random IP addresses. So if you go to your computer and look up your IP address, that IP address is going to be dynamically assigned by DHCP server, which is your home router. or your modem. Sometimes they're both the same thing. Sometimes they're like all in one, router and a modem. And IP just means Internet Protocol. And then we've got secure file transfer protocol, which for that, let me see if I have it installed. I'm gonna show this briefly. This is not something as a help desk that you would be doing, but here's an example of software that you can use to transfer files using SFTP. So this program is called FileZilla, and then you can set it up on both ends. You can create a server, and then you can create a client. And then for those, then you would have to set up local key access and stuff like that. It's way more advanced than any help desk person would deal with. I think I have a video on this somewhere. If I don't, then I don't know. But I think I do have a video on this somewhere. It might be like an older video. Maybe that's why I don't remember, from a couple of years back. But you can set up what is just it's a client that let's say here, let's just look at random stuff. It's kind of like this, where you just have direct access to folders like this. You just go to, this is how it kind of looks like. So whenever you open up FileZilla client to connect to any server, it doesn't even have to be a FileZilla server, but you can set it up that hosts that hosts your files. It would kind of look just like this. You're browsing folders and stuff like that once you're connected. There's more to it. Again, you have to set up a secure connection where you have to set up a key at the server, and then the server also has to have a client key, this and that. Again, this is one way of doing it, and the answer here is secure. I don't mind teaching people, and I've already but this is a different video. I've already made these type of videos, So I'm just going to reply to customers, say you can set up SFTP. I apologize, guys. I really didn't think these tickets were going to be all like this. And for those reasons, we're going to skip over to somebody else. We're going to come back to his at some point, but we're going to work them in between, because these are not real help desk tickets at all. You can set up SFTP to transfer files. For example, you can use software like FileZilla to do this. Sure. Again, I appreciate you making effort, but these are not real help desk tickets. So I'm going to close this. All right. Guys, I have videos like this, and if you want to check them out, they're certainly on my channel. I have tons. I literally looked at it the other day. I have like 570 something videos, okay? If you, 99% of the time when somebody asks me to make a video about something, the video is already made. All you have to do is just go to my channel, youtube.com/Kobuman. Kobuman. This channel, literally under this video, click on the name Kobuman and click on search, which is on the right, and type in whatever the topic you have, and it's there. All right. So yeah, looks like these other ones are these type of same things. Look at this. Web developer team is having difficulty connecting by SSH. This has nothing to do with help desk, especially tier 1. Tier 2 might have something, but this would be, the people who maintain the websites, the web developers, web admins, will deal with this stuff. This will not even come to you. This will be in their queue. You know what? What the heck? Let's use this one here, because I like this one. This might be something that in a help desk we could do this here. A user is unable to reach Google by typing the URL in the web browser, but is able to reach by typing in whatever the IP address is. So what this is a DNS issue, meaning that your computer cannot resolve google.com, meaning, here, we're going to try this. If you open up a command line, and type this, ping google.com. So google.com is a domain name, okay? Domain name. Okay? Keep that in mind. If we ping it, well, we'll get a result of an IP address as long as I have internet access. So here are results. We got what ping does is it pings google.com, meaning like sends like a packet of data to it, and it tries to figure out what's going on and where it's at. In this case, it responded to us with an IP address, which is the actual address of where google.com server is located. They have multiple servers to handle load balancing, and that's fine. They probably have servers set up in clustering format. Anyways, I'm sorry, I'm getting into too technical stuff here. But what's going on here is, instead of you typing in 172.217.14.174, you can just type in google.com. And google.com being a domain name, the system that does this for you, where you can just type in google.com instead of the IP address, is called domain name system. Or also some people call it domain name service. But that's what it does for you. So instead of you having to remember that, that IP address, which would you normally type in if you want to reach a server or somewhere, you just have to remember google.com as in its name. Therefore, it's handled by domain name system. So it does this for you. You don't have to remember numbers. It's easier to remember names than numbers. So if somebody has problem reaching the google.com by typing it in, it's like nothing happens. You get an error, for example, says 404 or something like that. 404 meaning that it doesn't exist or something like that. That means that probably there is an issue with domain name system that handles this that I just explained. That handles you just having to just remember google.com instead of the IP address, assuming that you can reach it by typing in the IP address. I wonder if they actually have blocked this. The reason he has a different IP address here is because when he pinged it, he received a different IP address at the time. So it's changed, or just totally different one. Here it is. You see how, here, I'll do it again. See, I just copy pasted it that, and if I hit it, it's just going to switch to google.com. So it works backwards. But if a DNS did not work properly, it wouldn't say google.com, it would just say the IP address. But it's working fine. So there's that. Let me see. This one probably won't work. Yeah, this one's down. You see, it's just loading. Okay, so it's changed. All right. And the way you fix that is, let's see here. You can reboot the computer, of course. Or you can just type this in at the computer level, because it could be just at the computer level that he hasn't updated, doesn't have the updated DNS. That could be the case too. All right, so here, I'll show you. So you need to have command line running as administrator, and you just type in ipconfig/flush DNS. This will do it. This will flush DNS server locations, which help you resolve these domain names locally. And this might fix it, but again, well, here, I'll do it as admin. All right, here we go. ipconfig/flush DNS. Again, as help desk tier 1, you may not even be doing this stuff, but it's good to know. See? And now I would just reboot the computer. Now, this is just assuming that only one computer is not able to do this. Otherwise, most of the time, this is just the issue with the Google server, okay? So I'm going to reply this. If it's just you having this issue, you can use IP config / flush DNS command to, I don't know, I'm gonna say reset DNS at local level. Otherwise, the issue is with DNS server for google.com. Okay, I'm going to save it and I'm going to close it. All right. All right, so I'm going to move on to, I'm going to pick a random one now, because there are a lot. There are at least 4 more from Alam. I'm just going to pick this one here where it says Avaya telephone service. All right, so, and apologize if I skipped some of you that have been waiting. I just have to take a break from those question ones. All right, assigned to myself, Avaya telephone service. My headset is not working with Avaya communicator. Can you please assist as soon as possible? So I have questions for you, Madhuri Sanap. Thank you very much for submitting this. Take it. I have questions for you, and my question is, did you get a new headset? Because Avaya telephone service, what this is an over IP phone system. It's what they call soft phone. All right, let's go to google.com. Avaya, I think it's called Avaya. Let's just do this soft phone. I'm going to do some images here to show you. Oh, wow, I have 10 different version ones. Here's the one I'm familiar with. I wish this picture was better, but it is what it is. So there are some headsets that are not compatible. So, you plug in your headset just like you do. Even when you do help desk, chances are you might be using a Avaya phone. There are 10 different ones. Different soft phones that are available that call centers use. All kinds of different ones. This one happens to be Avaya, and that's okay. I've done troubleshooting on Avaya before, but the best thing you can do here is, and let me just kind of reiterate here, my headset is not working with Avaya communicator. Can you please assist as soon as possible? So there are many questions here. First one is, did you get a different headphones? Did you get different headset that may not be compatible with Avaya? You can go to Avaya settings, and I know you can't see it here, but if you click here, and then you're going to have a menu, and then you can go to audio settings, and there will be different audio settings. There'll be audio settings for your headset, and there'll be audio settings for like your call greetings, which people use to like record their greetings. And don't go to the greetings part, because that's not it. What you want is phone settings for audio phone settings. And you have to make sure that your headset is selected on the inside. Is this it? Here it is. Here are the settings. It will look kind of something like this. In this case, this user has a Jabra. Jabra is popular. Also, Plantronics is popular. These different type of headsets. And you just have to make sure that they're selected. Literally just like this here. And then you can test it and this and that. And you can set up for your ringer to be something else. Your phone can ring through your computer speakers if you want, and you can set it down here. But the main thing is to make sure that this is set up. If it shows up, if it doesn't show up, then go through audio settings of your computer, sound settings, and see if anything is available. I'm remoted into this computer, so there is nothing here. But if you see it like this, where you on a drop down you don't see your headset, that means your headset is not connected properly. However, there's more. If you got a headset with, let's see, headset audio jack. Here, I'm gonna make sure that here's something like this. Images. So if you get a headset that has a separate, like this, where it has separate microphone and separate speaker connector, make sure that's connected properly to your desktop. So a desktop or a laptop, if you're using these type of 2.5 millimeter or 3.5, that's a 2.5. This is supposed to be 3.5. I don't know why this says 2.5, but it's supposed to be 3.5 millimeter. So I have to make sure that that if it's like a desktop or a laptop, that it's plugged into the correct input. So you got microphone and then you got headset separately. Make sure that's number one. Now when that happens, you get a pop-up on your computer depending on which kind of audio is installed. But let me see if I can find this real tech. Guys, I'm trying my best to find everything I can so you guys can learn everything that I know. Aha. So here's what I'm actually looking for here. You may get a pop-up like this, where it's asking you, what did you plug in? And this usually happens with those two 3.5 millimeter jacks that you connect. So if you're connecting a headset with a microphone, make sure you switch this to say microphone or headset. This looks like it was changed a little bit, but this is the one I'm more. Well, no, that's not it. Anyways, make sure you select that microphone is connected, not headphones. Okay, and this is a problem that people have when it comes to using those two jack 3.5 millimeter ones that are separate. So make sure you select the microphone that is plugged in, and then the other one is just going to be handled by itself. So that's a problem there. And if you do come across this issue, I wish I had a better example of this. Kind of limited to this. And of course, once you pull up your sound settings, your system sound settings, open sound settings, and if you go to sound control panel here, make sure that your headset is enabled and working in here. Under recording, you want to see the microphone for your headset. You look for your headset name, and same thing for the playback, which is your speaker inside the headset, where that goes to your ear, literally. And if you can't see it, they might be disabled, and you have to make sure that this is checked here where it says show disabled devices. Make sure that's checked. Okay. So that way, in case you don't see it, and if it's disabled, you can right click it and enable it. Okay. So I'm going to first of all, watch my video to try all of these things that I've just suggested to you. And this is something I would check on the customer's / user's computer to make sure this is all configured correctly and set up. So in case you don't watch my video, make sure that headset is connected correctly by going to sound settings on, well, I'm going to say on your computer and inside Avaya. I'm going to say program. Please watch my video to try all the steps. So all those things I would do that I talked about, I would do on their computer, make sure to check all of this stuff. And again, sometimes you may have a headset that's simply not compatible. That does happen, where a soft phone system is not working with certain headsets. Simply isn't. Avaya does not like those two-prong jack ones. Avaya does not like it. If you have that one, you can make it work, but it doesn't like it. Doesn't like it much. So that's what I would do. And I have to close these tickets, but I also want to add an internal note, and I'm going to pretend that I've done all of this and that the issue is resolved as part of training for help desk. Resolved by audio configuration, or however you want to word it. Again, I don't have time to necessarily get a hold of these people that are submitting tickets. Again, I appreciate you guys. I really appreciate you. And if you can submit an issue or any tickets, that's greatly appreciated. So that way we have more videos to talk about and more things to learn. There's a link in the description and or on the first comment, of this video pinned by me. Okay. All right. As a last one, I'm going to, I really want to do another ticket here, but I'm going to talk about, see, I hate leaving older tickets. All right, I guess I have no choice. I'm going to do this one. This is a question again, and we'll see. We'll see. If this is not related, yeah, this is not related to help desk. So this a good example of, we're just going to forward this ticket, because this is just a copy paste question from somewhere. The web developer team is having difficulty connecting by SSH to your local web server, and you notice the proper rule is missing for firewall. See, we're getting way too advanced for help desk. It's not something that I don't know how to do. It's just that this is not for help desk. So I'm sorry, but I'm just going to close this ticket. Yeah. These are just firewall issues. I have network administration, network admin videos and stuff like that. Matter of fact, I have a degree in network administration. So this is definitely something I can talk about. But, if they're talking about, firewall rules and stuff like that, you can look up that, but you're going to need more time than what help desk allows. On help desk, you're taking phone calls back to back to back. You don't have time to check firewall settings. This is something that the application owner, in this case, whoever owns the web server, imagine this, a web developer team. This is a whole team, so they themselves are having this issue, and you as help desk are going to help them? Come on. I'm not saying you can't or don't know how to, but it's not going to come to the help desk for you to resolve. So I'm going to add internal note. I'm going to say routed ticket to support group for this, website. Sure. Now I would route this ticket to a different group, but this ticketing system that I'm using is just for me, so I don't have other groups. This is not part of a business or anything. This is just the ticketing system that I'm using to make help desk a video. So there is no group for me to route to, but this is what I would do. It's simply like here. There will be like a menu here, and then you go down and then you route it to somebody else, and it would just call it that. Okay. All right. Let's just do one more since we just went ahead and closed it. All right. You're installing a new hard drive. You're installing 2 new hard drives into your network attached storage. Here we go again. Your director asks that you put in a RAID solution that offers redundancy over performance. Yeah, these are A+. These are A+ questions. This is not a place for this. I'm sorry, but there, what he's talking about, just to touch on it real quick, because I don't want to, this is something you can know as help desk, and that's fine, but it's not something you'll be doing. But what he's talking about is a network attached to it, so like a shared drive. Imagine a shared drive that you need to connect for or add a network drive for somebody who puts in a ticket. Let's just play it like that, and you need to add it, and you just have to make sure that what kind of shared drive is it. And then here it says your director asked that you put in a RAID solution that offers redundancy over performance. Redundancy, uh, redundancy. What that means is that in case a hard drive fails, because when you have a big network storage, a network drive, network shared drive, when you have a shared drive that you map for a user, whenever they call you, you go in and you add that network drive for them. Let me see if I have one installed here. This PC. Yeah, so here are network drives, network locations, and when you add these, like this, map network drive, and you select the letter, whatever you want, and then you type in a location like this, network drive, and then specify, I don't know, location, whatever it is that you put in. It could be an IP address as far as I know, for example, and then you click OK, finish, and then it adds it under letter Y or whatever the letter you want added, and it looks like this. These are disconnected right now. They're not working. But what he's asking here, how fast they should be. A RAID is type of system that utilizes multiple drives, and then you can use RAID to get faster performance. This is old technology, really. I don't know. RAID 0 means two drives that are working together as one in order to have faster access to files. Basically, you take two of them, you sacrifice storage on one of them to have faster access, and that's how RAID 1 is redundancy. RAID 0 is for the performance one, it's called parity, and then RAID 1 is redundancy, meaning that if one fails, you have another one as a backup. So if you have one drive as storage for the network, drive that you're setting up, if one of them fails, you have another one that's set up as a backup, meaning redundancy. Okay. But for this, I'm just going to say, this actually. Added a shared drive with that has redundancy setup. Sure, let's do that. This RAID 5 is parity with redundancy, and I'm not going to talk about this. This is A+. I have A+ videos. I'm going to close this. All right, guys, I think I've had enough of tickets, and I think I've recorded probably up to an hour. And then we're going to continue. Please submit more tickets. Again, link on the first comment that's pinned by me. And the next one we have from Collins. We're going to talk about that one, as long as it's help desk related. We'll see. And then we got more from Alam. Okay, so these might be actual help desk tickets, so that's good. Again, I'm sorry that those tickets, but at least we've learned something. And then we've got more, and then we got variant playbook. Maybe you meant variant. Oh yeah, variant. Yeah. I'm familiar with variant. We're going to talk about that. All of this stuff. So we got 9 tickets left. So I definitely need more tickets if you guys can submit them, so we can create more videos. Otherwise, we have 2 videos maybe left here in this series. So please submit more tickets. I really appreciate it. I wish you best of luck. And to people that became members, thank you very much as well. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.